Can you explain the decision behind dropping Rush?
Yeah, it's about values, about the standards that we are looking to uphold consistently. Central to that's being team first, and so yeah, Josh and I have had a number of conversations. You know, it's not isolated to recent events. This is something we've been working on for a long period of time now. Not just Josh and I, but the team, the entire squad, about what it is we stand for, and that's why the decision is where it is.
What was it making?
As I said, like when you're dealing with values, it's important that you get everyone on the same page. Such a fine line between what we accept and what we don't as a football club and as a football team. So we'll continue to work through that as a group. There are a lot of things that Josh is doing that we just love. We love his energy, we love his enthusiasm. He brings an incredible passion to our group. I'll make it clear, this has nothing to do with the way Josh celebrates. In fact, we love the way Josh goes about his footy and the enjoyment he brings to the footy. It does send a real vibe through our group. It's not an isolated incident. This is not one scenario. This is something we've worked on for a period of time now.
You're talking about the incident where he's not putting his head over the ball. What has he done wrong?
Again, it's not something that... It wouldn't be fair to a player to go into the detail of that. And no matter who that player is, and I think for Josh, he knows I've got his back. I'll always have Josh's back. In fact, at the moment, when a kid's in a tough time, as it is now, there's a lot of attention around, a lot of noise around at the moment, and the reason for that is because Josh is such a liked player. He's a high-profile player. I've got no doubt he'll be a leader of our footy club in the near future and going forward. And so, right now, we're working on making sure that he is a leader that we want others to follow.
But the argument is that you don't have his back because you've dropped him. Your actions speak louder than words.
No, we've always got Josh's back, and I've got every player's back, and especially in times that are tough. Josh and I have had numerous conversations since the day he arrived at the footy club. The last week and a half's been a tough week for him, and I've been there for him, and I will be there for him going forward.
Given you say this isn't an isolated incident, is that maybe the disappointing part that he hasn't learned because you've had these conversations? And just where has this come from? Was this a conversation with the leadership group? Did they want to see him put back down to the twos to get him to ascribe those team values?
No. As I said, we're all working our way through how you're consistent with your values. This is not purely just about Josh, it's about our group continuing to improve. And we are a young group. We continue to mould what it is we want to be, but we have complete clarity around what the expectation is with that. We just keep working in that space.
There's been a lot of...
It's the last game of the season, so he has to stew on this for 6 months. You're going to send a message, it's probably the biggest one you can do because he doesn't have a chance to play.
Yeah, there's never a good time with these sort of decisions. And it's an interesting one. It's not really a decision in the end. When you're dealing with values, there's no decision to be made. If we want to be serious about those values, then we've got to live up to those. And so we've got to go down the path we need to go down and make sure that we're true to those. Otherwise, they're just words. So there's no good time. When players go in and out of our team every week, this is one that's of high profile, and so I understand and I respect the interest in around that. But ultimately, guys, we're going to do what's best for the team. We'll always put team first, and then we'll work with the individuals on making sure that we have support for them.
His profile is elevated because of what's transpired in the last week and so much talk around him. So the perception always is going to be that he was dropped for the way he behaved in the build-up to and the way and during the show.
Yeah, as I mentioned, we understand the perception and we understand the noise that can be around this at the moment. That's why I'm here today, to talk to you about it and make sure that we do have some more clarity. At the same time, I will respect the player, and I'm there for Josh at this point in time, so the detail won't be going into.
There's been a lot of commentary that people have said that the club has embarrassed him, but from your point of view, how did he handle the news?
Josh has been fantastic, as expected. Josh has got complete clarity around, so he and I are on the same page about what has played out. Josh instantly went to exactly what's his role now. He's not on the plane with us today with the 23 we're taking to Sydney, but his role now is to represent our team at an SANFL level, and he was straight onto that, speaking to his coaches about what the role looked like, because ultimately he wants to do the right thing by the team, and he'll just continue to work in that space.
So how did you react then when you saw that he'd liked someone's post saying that he could look at a possible trade somewhere?
Yeah, well, I'd already had a phone call from Josh prior to actually knowing about it. I'm not huge on the social media for a few reasons. So only Josh and I will know that, and we've had a good discussion about that. Without going into too much detail, now it's the way he goes about it this weekend. He and I working through this as we have done now for a period of time, since the day he walked in the door. He, along with the group, are going to continue to work in this space, and we put our values and we rate them up really highly. They're important to us, and so we'll keep working in that space.
So,
Sorry, I missed that.
When did you actually identify that as an issue?
Look, as I mentioned, I think I've gone through it. It's not isolated. It's not a moment. It's got nothing to do with this week. And there's, as I mentioned, the noise around it at the moment is coming because there's not clarity. There's not a full understanding of how these things play out. There's a lot more to this than, over a period of time and a group of players where we all have our challenges. There are things that I also empathise with our players when they get in front of a camera, and I can tell you this is quite an intimidating environment, standing with seven or eight microphones in front of you and 15 cameras, and it doesn't always come out quite the way you mean it, and our players have moments like that throughout the year. We understand that. We have support for our players in that. Ultimately, what we want to be is a group that put the team first, prioritise their teammates and prioritise others, and we'll keep working to do that.
Thank you. About Mark Kane.
Yeah, there's a bit else going on.
Yeah. What's the situation with Mark?
So Mark's headed home. He took off Thursday, and he's gone back for personal reasons, which we won't go into the detail of that, but we have our full support for Mark and his family, and he's gone back to be with his family.
Speculations from this morning that he's walked out on the club. Can you guarantee that that's not the case?
I can guarantee that's not the case.